Okay, so today we will see custom SQL and dynamic SQL, so which are important concepts in the JDBC. Not this new batch. So we have seen that existing services for the, existing template for the select, insert, update, and delete. Now this is a new concept which is for the custom SQL. I will tell you what is the difference between the custom SQL and the different adapter services. So till now what we have done is like we just selected whatever the data is inside the web methods. Sorry, my database. So you will select the column, you will specify the columns from which data you want to select. But if you want to do any aggregate functions, or if you want to change any data, for example, you want to know count, okay, or if you want to know like some column data, so we did not use any functions. So as of now we have selected only the plain table data. So by using this custom SQL, you can write your own query. So if you are able to execute anywhere, you can just copy and paste that SQL in this custom SQL and you can execute your operation. So we'll see how it looks. So all are same. So custom SQL, execute an SQL statement. So it's not saying either select, update, insert or delete. So you can write anything in any Oracle client. So that statement can be executed here. Okay, so you can just copy paste your query and you can run that. For example, what we have done earlier, we selected the table data. We connect, we'll see. So what we won't be able to do in the normal select. Here's my Oracle. I connected to my Oracle and I did select name comma row number from student. Okay, I'll get name and roll number. So we have done like this, but would not do if I want to know how many students are exist in my table. So we not do count operation like this. So you won't be able to perform this operation from our regular select. So in order to achieve this, so what we have is so SQL, custom SQL. So by using this custom SQL, you don't need to specify any table, you don't need to specify any columns. You can just copy paste the SQL query. So you have to, so this one, like how did I create is like new custom SQL. You have to select. Okay, so I will write the same query, select count star from student. Okay, no semicolon required. Only one statement you can execute, not more than one. Okay, so we know you are receiving this column as count, and if you want to give any alias, you can give. Yes, total underscore students we call it as. So instead of count, I am using a new name called the total underscore students, total students. Okay, you can execute the same here also. Actually, I don't take like more than 2 classes on JDBC, but for this class, I'm taking so many. So if you give, so it will comes as a new column name. We call it as a alias in the SQL. So you can give a alias for the existing column. So I'm taking it as a total students from student. So if you see, we are not passing any input. So input will come whenever you want to pass any variable. For example, if you are writing where condition, where roll number equal to, so this value you want to pass it dynamic roll number. So in that case, in this question mark, what you want to give, so you can specify here. If you don't need to specify anything, you don't need to give any input, but output you will get as a total students. So which is type of JDBC type is number, right? Come on. It's a numeric. Okay. Output field, I want it in the string. Okay. So total students is the type of string. If I want to change the name also, I can change it. So this is coming from the database. Okay. But I want to show like this in the web methods. So I change the name. Now I will run this service. So I got a result and total students is 7. So this SQL not only for this. Oh, something happened. So only not only for this, if you have anything which can be executed here, you can just copy and paste it here. For example, I want to know where roll number equal to question mark. I mean the roll number I will pass it in the runtime. If I pass 1, it has to give me how many students will be having the roll number. So instead of roll number, we'll go with the name, because name equal to question mark. So for this question mark place, you have to give some input. So that input you have to define it here. So my name is type of varchar in the database. Okay, input field is student name. So the student name, whatever the value will pass, it will go and replace this question mark. I'm saving it and I am running my service. Okay, so I'm giving student name as A. I'll get count as 1. So looks like there is an issue. I'll check. Give me 1 sec. Hello. చెప్పాడు రాదా, నాకు ఫోన్ చేశాడులే. నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నా, నేను మళ్ళీ కాల్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే రాదా, థ్యాంక్స్. Okay, it's saying total students from students question mark. Command properly ended. Command not properly ended. Where? Okay, I saved it and I am doing run as. Okay, now I got total students 1. Okay, if I pass Z, I should get as a 0. So whatever the value will pass to student name, actually it will go and replace here. If you have more question marks, then you have to add more inputs. Is this clear? So when you go for custom SQL, then the normal select. So when you are selecting the normal columns without any modifying the data, you will go for the normal select. If you have any complex arithmetic operations or like some joins, complex joins, where you will do like greater than, less than, everything, then that time you will go with the custom SQL. Is this clear? Any doubts? Can I continue with the next one? To all actually. Okay, so I'm continuing to the next concept. So we have one more template called the I have dynamic SQL. Oh shit, I forgot about that. sorry guys, if you see the custom SQL and dynamic SQL, okay, both looks similar. Okay, if you see tab wise, if you see dynamic SQL and then custom SQL, and you can do whatever you do with the custom SQL in the dynamic SQL, but there is a small difference. Okay, so the difference is what's that I forgot. So you can specify a variable and you can pass the like you can change the SQL dynamically instead of here. So once you paste, you won't be able to change the query. But in the dynamic SQL, okay, so you can create, for example, if you think your where condition will differ like every time. So you have select, okay, name comma roll number from student, okay. So then you will say where, okay, yeah. So if you pass any variable like this, so this where will come as a input variable so that I can pass a value to where at the runtime. So if I pass in this place where r number equal to this, or next time I will say where name equal to this, next time where subject 1 equal to this. So it's not a static. This where condition is not a static, it's a dynamic. So where I can pass different values. For example, control S, run service. Okay, if I pass here where name equal to a, I will get the results related to name a. So which is roll number 1 and name equal to a. For example, if I don't want to pass the name, I want to check with the roll number, I can check with that. The roll number equal to 3. So it related to roll number 3, it gives me the result. So what I am doing is I am changing this query dynamically. Every time I am changing it. Did you get the difference from the custom SQL and dynamic SQL? So custom SQL means like you have one standard query which you won't be able to change every time. But in dynamic, you can change the query every time based on your requirement. Clear? So how do you define this one is this dollar and then where within the flower brackets. So where is nothing but your variable. Correct. So design time means like it's not a design time, it's a development time. Development time itself, like you know which query you want to pass. Yes, it's a standard and you won't be able to change every time. But dynamic query, you can change based on your requirement. You don't know exactly which condition you want to pass. Sometimes you want to check with one column and sometimes you want to check with one more column. Or else like this entire query, I want to, like for example, I don't know this query. So every time I have to change the query. So then that time you can write like this, dollar question mark query. Okay, so if I save it, so you can pass your own query every time. You can pass every time, but here so it will be standard. Okay, so for this this will be a standard where you won't be able to change the query, but here my query I can change it. I can generate the query and I can pass to this variable. If I go to input variable, then I see the query. So for example, now I can run select, I can run update, I can run delete also. Yes, that's a mandatory. A dollar symbol, not 10%. Yes, you can speak, Vivek. Unmute yourself and like you can ask questions because like we are three only now, so you can ask the questions. No need to type it. Arna yourself also. So if you have any doubts, you can just speak. If you're not able to, then yeah, you can type it. Okay, so in this query, I will say first select uh, R number name subject 1 from student. Okay, so I'll get the results related to that. And if you want to delete, then I will say delete student where R number equal to 1. I can do that. So my SQL statement got executed. If I check with 1, I won't be having any data. I'll get the empty result because there is no data with 1 because I deleted it. Any doubts? Can I go to next one? Okay, next one is the stored procedure. So the stored procedure, like you should be knowing like what is a stored procedure. So where you will be writing some like set of SQL statements which will take some input and provide you the output. Okay, so till now we have seen like only executing one single statement. If you want to do multiple, you have to write one stored procedure in the Oracle side. Once you have that particular stored procedure, then you can call it from the web methods by using the stored procedure concept. Okay, stored procedure with signature and only the stored procedure. So both will be same. Okay, but so prefer go with the stored procedure with signature because it will specify you input and output for your specific signature. I mean like stored procedure. The stored procedure here, if it is a only stored procedure, it won't tell you what inputs you have to pass and what output you will get it. But stored procedure with signature will tell you what inputs you have to pass and what output you will get it. Okay, we'll see this stored procedure with signature. You have to specify from which catalog. Make it as a current catalog, current schema, and procedure name. If you know the procedure name, you can give it in the percentages. Okay, or else you can select the name. So these are the available procedures. Okay, so you can select which one you want to call. For example, I want to call this BizDoc somewhere. Okay, so I want to see archive tables. For this input, I will see in type is the input. So these are the outputs. Sorry, input parameters. And then I don't have any output parameters. So it has only inputs. So that now you know what values you want to pass. So here you see 3 question marks. That means you have 3 inputs. If you have any outputs, then you should have seen here. Is clear? Store procedure with signature. So store procedure with signature will call when you want to call a store procedure which is already created in the Oracle database or like whatever the database you are connecting to. And there is a batch update and batch insert. So batch insert and batch update, like if you want to, voice is not available. Is it same with you also, Aruna? You're not able to hear me? Okay. Vivek, check your connectivity or something. Okay, because it's audible for her. Okay, so now we will see a batch insert and batch update. So you can check with that. So till now, like if you select any insert or update, it will give you only one input. But if you check this batch insert and batch update SQLs, so it will give you list type as an input. So I'll just show you batch insert and normal insert. You can know the difference. Current catalog, current schema, student. Okay, and then let me go to insert all columns. Okay, so now, so you will see all this, and if I go to my output, so I will open the normal insert also. I have student table, and then insert, I have select all. For example, if you see the input and output for this, it will be roll number, name, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, which are the normal string types. But if you go to our batch input and output, see, so this inputs, it became as a list type where you can pass multiples. I can pass like multiple students. You can insert at a single point of time. So if all are inserted, then everything will be inserted. If there is an issue with any record, everything will be rollback based on your transaction type. If you are using the local transaction, there will be rollback. If you are using the normal, then I mean like no transaction, then they will be committed a partially. Did you guys tried other SQL statements? I mean like the exercise which I have given. Does anyone tried? Did you guys try the examples? I told you to select data from one table and insert into another table. Once you start doing the code, you will see so many issues from enabling the connection, okay, till executing it. You will see so many and you will learn. Without practicing, so you won't get it. Now we are done with the JDBC concept. So any questions here? I'm stopping the record and we'll continue the meeting till we can. What happened?